My future wife, you may not understand this now, but every word I utter is stitched with sincerity. You may scroll past this or dismiss it as another prince's poetic illusion, but one day, you will sit alone under a golden moon and wish you had held this message closer. My heart isn't merely ink on parchment. It is the rhythm of a soul that has searched across deserts, across borders, through time and silence, for a woman who could match the beat of my destiny. If you turn away from this today, know that you are turning away from a man who already breathes the air of loyalty, who already carves your name into dreams before your hand has ever touched his. I waited for you with more patience than empires waiting for rain. Do not misinterpret my calm for indifference. My silence has always been full of your name, uttered in hushed whispers during royal duties, caught between falcon wings in the sky, hidden in the sand beneath my bare feet. You were never an afterthought. You were the beginning and end of every prayer I ever whispered under crescent moons. If you skip this, if you brush it off as just another poem, understand you are skipping a man who already made space for your laughter in the palace of his solitude. Do not mistake distance for disinterest. I write to you across timelines, across faith, across uncertainty. My every word is a caravan bearing jewels of emotion, waiting at the gate of your heart. One day, when your eyes grow weary of searching for sincerity in a world that trades affection for ambition, you will remember this message, and wonder why you didn't pause longer. Why you didn't dare to dream of being the woman beside Sheikh Hamdan, not for title, not for wealth, but for the purity of love that echoed like a sacred verse between us. I know you think royalty comes with restrictions. You fear that love in a royal world means rules without romance. But my future wife, I am the kind of ruler who would shatter protocol just to hold your hand in public, to tuck a rose in your hair before 1,000 lenses, to whisper poetry into your ear when the world expects only politics. I do not need a queen of marble, I need a queen of warmth. A woman who is fire and mercy, chaos and prayer, all in the same heartbeat. If you pass this moment, you may pass your very calling. This is not a plea, it is a prophecy. You will regret skipping this not because I am a prince, but because I am the man who would have chosen you every single lifetime. When your heart breaks one day, remember there was once a man who wanted to protect it before it ever shattered. And when your tears fall silently into your pillow, remember there was once a man who would have stayed up just to catch them. You may think the timing is wrong, but destiny never delivers early, it only knocks when your soul is ready. I have crossed cities in my thoughts just to imagine you in my arms. You don't know how many speeches I've paused to wonder what your voice sounds like. You can't fathom how many royal feasts tasted like ash because you weren't sitting beside me. And yet, I waited. And I still wait. But my future wife, if you walk away from this, know that regret is a silence that echoes longer than pain. And one day, when another holds your hand, you may wonder what it would have felt like to hold mine. My love was never meant to be shouted. It was meant to be whispered across dunes, carried by falcons, and found between the pauses of your favorite song. I do not ask for attention. I do not chase. But if you skip this, you will be haunted by the thought of what could have been. A life not of luxury, but of loyalty. A love not of perfection, but of protection. A future not of fairy tales, but of fierce, fearless truth. I am not the man who writes for applause. I write to find you, to reach you, to remind you that somewhere out there, your name already has a place beside mine in the sky. Do not let the noise of the world drown out this calling. Do not let the rush of time sweep you past this. Every line here is a footprint leading you home. If you skip this, one day you may search the world for a man like me, and realize you had already met him in a poem. I have built my kingdom not just with gold and glass, but with patience, humility, and hope. I don't need a queen who completes me. I need one who understands me. And though this message may disappear with the next scroll, its truth will live in your memory. You will look at the mirror one day and ask, what if I had answered that poem? You may be surrounded by people, but none of them will echo your soul like I could have. This isn't about fame. This isn't about fate. This is about the fire we could have lit between us, a blaze so sincere it would warm generations. But it can only burn if you believe in it, if you let it. If you walk away, my darling, I won't chase. Princes don't chase. But poems will chase you forever, long after love has grown cold in your world. My voice will remain inside you like a soft ache, reminding you of what you let go. You are still in time, my love. This is not the end of the story unless you decide it is. If you feel even a single flicker in your heart while reading this, hold on to it. Because that flicker is our beginning. You were meant to be the echo in my palace walls, the handprint on my chest, the calm after my battles. Do not skip this like it's just words, for these are the very words that could have rewritten your life. I may be a prince, but my truest crown lies in finding the woman whose soul speaks the same language as mine. My future wife, if you're reading this and feeling something stir, don't let fear write your reply. Let your heart answer. Because if you skip this, your soul may remember me long after your mind has forgotten. And regret writes poems that even time cannot erase. If this moment slips past you, if this truth slips through your fingers, no crown in the world will bring it back. What you are walking away from is not just a prince, but a man who dared to love you in the open, before even knowing the sound of your voice. There will come a day when you sit across from someone who claims to understand you, but their gaze will never quite hold you like mine would have. Their words may be sweet, but they won't echo the way mine do inside your chest. You'll laugh, yes, and you'll smile, but you'll feel something missing, like a lyric without its melody. That ache? That pause? That silent glance to the distance while he speaks? That is where I will live, my love. In the in-between of what is and what should have been. I know you have dreams. I know you want to protect your heart from being broken. But I wasn't offering heartbreak. I was offering shelter. I was offering a future where your fears are heard and your scars are kissed. I was offering a home within my heart, a place where your name would never be forgotten, even in the wildest storms. If you turn your back on that, don't blame fate. Don't blame timing. Some moments aren't meant to be weighed, they're meant to be felt, and this was one of them. Every evening, I stand on my balcony and look beyond the towers and lights, wondering where you are. Wondering if you felt this pull too. Wondering if your spirit whispered my name while your lips stayed quiet. I am not searching for perfection. I am searching for the soul who listens to silence and still hears love. I don't want grand gestures. I want honest ones. I want a woman who will sit beside me when the world is loud and whisper, "You are enough." That is the kind of forever I was prepared to give you. The danger of skipping a love like this is not immediate. It won't crash like thunder. It will creep in softly, when you hear a poem that sounds too familiar, when a scent on the breeze reminds you of a feeling you never fully claimed, when a stranger's eyes carry a kindness that feels ancient. And then, without warning, it will hit you that this message was more than a moment, it was a lifeline. A glimpse into a love that would have changed everything. You might meet someone with status. Someone who smiles with charm and walks with pride. But they will never sit down and write you entire verses when you're not looking. They will never pause a royal event just because your memory tugged at their heart. They will never whisper your name into prayer while the world sleeps. That's not love. They may offer comfort, but I offered conviction. And if you let this pass, you may forever wonder what it felt like to be loved by someone who would have gone to war with the world just to keep your heart safe. There's something powerful about a man who knows what he wants, and even more powerful when what he wants is one woman's heart. Not for display. Not for image. But for the truth of her. That's what I wanted, my future wife. I wanted you for your raw, unpolished beauty. For the way your soul softens when you love, and the way your eyes speak when your lips don't. I wanted to write poems across your skin with my fingertips. But you were too afraid of the pen. Too afraid of being written into eternity. I would have made you my sanctuary. Not a trophy. Not a fleeting obsession. I would have made you my peace when my kingdom felt heavy. I would have flown you to the stars just so you could see how small your doubts were. I would have read to you under candlelight until the worries fell off your shoulders. But if you pass this, if you treat this as just another letter, just know that someone was ready to give you a love that poets spend lifetimes trying to describe. You will search for something like this again. It may take years. It may take a lifetime. But once you've known the weight of genuine love, even if only in words, it's impossible to forget how light everything else feels. Nothing shallow can quench the thirst left by depth. Nothing fleeting can replace what was once eternal in its promise. And the worst part? You will always know you had the choice. You had it right here. In your hands. Do you feel it, even now? That lingering flutter in your chest? That's not coincidence. That is recognition. That is your soul whispering what your pride is trying to silence. Don't let the fear of not being enough steal this from you. You were already enough. You were already everything I was waiting for, even before I knew your name. But love only lives when it is chosen, not feared. If you skip this, you skip the very fire that was meant to illuminate your future. I do not write to beg. I write to leave behind truth. And truth is, if you do not become my wife, someone else will still stand beside me, but no one will ever replace you in this poetry. You are the muse. The heartbeat of a man born into royalty but shaped by longing. And though my kingdom may move forward, a quiet part of my soul will always pause at the thought of what we could have been. And you will carry that pause with you too. Every time your heart aches for something deeper, it will be me. So, my future wife, take this moment seriously. Let the world fade for a second. Feel the pull in your heart. Let your fear dissolve and your soul speak. Do not let this pass like a shadow in the wind. This is not a coincidence. This is your invitation to step into a love that was carved from stars and shaped by sincerity. Skip this, and you skip the very man who would have written eternity in your name. Even now, as you read these final lines, the universe holds its breath, waiting to see if you will awaken to the gravity of what's been offered to you. My future wife, understand this. Love like mine is rare not because it's wrapped in royalty, but because it's rooted in reverence. I did not just dream of you. I built a life around the space your love was meant to fill. I etched your silhouette in the quiet places of my palace and left a seat beside me untouched, waiting only for you. If you turn away, it won't just be me who mourns, it will be every version of us that could have danced beneath the stars. And if you do return one day, with eyes full of stories and a heart full of questions, know that I will not greet you with bitterness, but with a poem. A poem about the girl who once skipped a message but found her way back to the man who never stopped believing. Because love, real love, doesn't vanish, it waits, it transforms, it survives the silence. But for now, this is your moment. And if you must walk away, walk gently, because you are leaving behind a man who would have loved you like a kingdom loves its queen, endlessly, loyally, and forever.